Imagine building an AI that sounds exactly like you. That's exactly what Gaurav did in a single afternoon without writing production code or waiting for engineering team. Gaurav is a fintech product manager, and in this conversation we go beyond the AI headlines to explore how AI is actually changing the day-to-day life of a product manager. We talk about the work AI has already taken over, the mistake it still makes, the tool he uses every day, and the one moment where trusting AI without verifying it backfired badly. So the real question isn't whether AI will replace product managers, it's whether product managers who don't learn AI will be replaced by the ones who do. So if you're already a product manager or trying to become one, this conversation is for you. And AI called me, right? So I built my own agent in few hours. Take me back to that day, right? And explain me step by step what was actually happening.
So I was sitting at my home, right? I got a call from Spinny. So I just picked up a call and I just paused for a second. I thought there is something different in this voice. There is a pattern in AI, right? It pauses and then it starts. So after 30 seconds, I realized this is not a person talking on the other side, right? It's an AI. I just told that AI, if you want to schedule a meeting, that also can be done. Just give me a preferable time. Okay, let's just talk in 2027, 5th July. And he just sent me an invite of that particular day. So I was like, dude, this is crazy. And that was the first time that I got a call from any AI. So then I researched about it, okay, how I can build my own AI so I can pitch my products to multiple users without even calling them or get the meeting scheduled. Then I searched about it and then I got into a product called Bolna AI, which creates AI agent. And then I told let's schedule a meeting in 2027. They just said, okay, yeah, okay, done. And I got an invite. So that confirms that this is not an human and this is an AI.
Did you feel like you were tricked about it?
No, actually, the first thought that came in my mind was, what about the call center jobs in India? For example, if Spinny is using AI, which might be having hundreds of business development executive who are calling day in, day out, what about their jobs? This can massively disrupt all of these jobs. What if the voice get more cloned or get more tone of a human? So then the normal people will not understand it even. If that call would come to my father, I don't think he will able to understand that is an AI or a normal human being.
What did you do, and then how did you eventually land up creating that tool?
As a product guy, we also creating product deck. So as my first thought was, why cannot we build a pitch for our product that we have built and just call our user personas directly as we have their mobile numbers, seek in the results how many meetings got scheduled with that. So I've created an agent using Bolna. I cloned my voice with Cartesia and I just plugged in together and I called one of the co-founder. He's not able to realize whether it's Gaurav talking to him or it's an AI. That scripts also includes, let's schedule a meeting, or you are facing any issue in KYC regarding solutions. So the pitch we have created around the product, and we created the agent and we call our co-founder directly. And he's amazed.
So if you could take me hour by hour in terms of what was the first thing you did?
So the first thing that I did was once the AI called me, right, I go to my GPT, which is my go-to partner, and then I was like, look, this is what happened with me. Now I want to create my agent to pitch my product. So what are the tools available in the market? And they listed a lot of tools like Bolna and the 11 Labs was there. Now I just said, okay, I want voice cloning tools as well. So then I got a list of voice cloning where I can clone the voices. I got Cartesia from there. Then in Bolna, once I opened it, building an AI agent was not that tough because it's just a no-code platform where you can just select the languages, select the mobile number, just whitelist the mobile numbers to whom you want to call, and you can create the AI agent. So my discovery happened through GPT. Then I went to the tool and I started creating it. And then once I created it, and then I was like, okay, now give me the script. This is what I want to pitch. These are my user persona. That particular thing gives me a script for Bolna. And I was like, I also want to do the calendar invite wala thing. So there is a feature in Bolna itself where you can ask user whether you want to schedule a meeting or not. Given my email link, and once I've created that, I tested that, and that is how I end up calling my co-founder.
And was there anything that you got stuck on during this entire process?
Whenever I got stuck in any kind of tool, I just took a screenshot of it. I'll go to GPT or Claude. I'll say, look, this is the UI screen that I'm looking at currently. I want to do this in this thing. I just put the screenshot, and then I got a step-by-step guide as well. So from there, I can jump into the solution directly.
When you heard yourself the first time, the AI version of yourself, because you mentioned
Yeah.
that you cloned yourself, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel?
It was like, I am also amazed because it just took 50 seconds of your audio, just 50 seconds of your audio to clone it. No one apart from me can tell me whether it is me or not. So even my co-founder was amazed, and he was sitting right next to me, and he's just telling another guy sitting beside him. He's like, look, this is Gaurav, but he's not talking right now. I think all the call center types of jobs, right? I think they are gonna vanish in next 1 to 2 years for sure. If I've given him about like 30 minutes of the audio or 20 minutes of the audio, I think it would replicate like every accent, every pause I took, everything.
If you had to do the same thing, it would need like a team of engineers, weeks of work, but you single-handedly did it in a day. Does that feel like progress, or does it feel like the ground is shifting?
I think it's actually the shifting that is happening currently in the market, right? The initial part will going to change, which is pitching the product. The part which will remain is you are taking that conversation ahead in terms of selling it. But the initial phase will be vanished or take over by the AI. So the initial part will go over for sure in the next few days, and that is where the ground is shifting towards. So the initial discovery will be done by AI, and afterwards human will take over.
When did you first feel that? And second is, how is that changing your day-to-day work?
The first feeling was when I started using AI, it is back in 2023 when I joined my first job, right? So that time GPT was there is no Claude, no Perplexity, right? So that time we are using actually GPT for the research part only, for doing the research, for what are the publicly available data, which I don't want to go through the Google search, I'll just do it through the GPT, right? Then afterwards, when these prototyping tools, these wireframing tools comes up, when 2024, 2025, by the 2024-25, then we realized like when these tools come up, like Lovable, Stitch, Notebook LLM, that actually changed the whole scenario. So as a product guy, if I need a research, I'll go to Perplexity. So I'll get a link as well as a source of truth. Then once, if I need to validate that, I'll go to GPT, I'll brainstorm with it, okay, whether this is right or wrong. If I need to create wireframes after validating it, then I'll go to Stitch. Now there are 3 variations that I have got into. One is GPT, where I'm just validating my ideas, brainstorming with the features, and the research part I'm using Perplexity to get the better answers with the source link. The third one, if I need to create wireframes, then I'll go to Stitch. I'll create UI screens directly instead of wireframes, and I can talk to those screens whether I need the button here or I need the text field there, right? Then if I need to create a prototype from that, I can go to Lovable, I can go to Bolt, I can go to Emergent. I'll create a full working prototype. I can even feed the initial data to them, and it will create a prototype for me, right? And if I need to validate it, I just need a backend engineer. If I can write a script from Claude and I just integrate it with Lovable, that integration is now also possible because they have now integration layer open that can directly integrate with Claude, and I can just write a script. So the MVP, the validation point, the MVP will be, I can get my MVP ready in 1 week. If I need to collect the feedbacks, then I can just use my Bolna AI or just pitch the product to them and get the feedback. And then from that feedback, if I need to create features, then I can go to Claude or GPT and I can just segment the users, the type of complaints currently they have from the feedback that I'm getting, right? And then I can prioritize that also using GPT.
You know, I was reading your profile, and then that's when I noticed about this specific thing that you wrote. No devs, just Claude and me. What was the feature that you made, right? And what did it do? Also, how did engineers react to it when you told them that you did this, all by yourself?
We need to create a PDF parser. We need to convert that PDF into Excel and segment the information present in that PDF according to our client's needs. So I was trying to create a script For that, I asked my engineer first, look, this is what I have to build. What do you think? How much time it will take? 3 weeks, I think. We don't have that timeline and that freedom of three weeks, right? So the salespeople were over my head and is like, bro, this is a great deal. We need to close it. So, okay, let's try. So I go to Claude. I just explained everything. Look, this is the PDF. I've given some sample PDF. And also I asked my sales member to get some sample output responses, like how the response should look like. I just uploaded everything on Claude. Then after that, I got a script. So that converts PDF to raw text first, which is a JSON raw text. And then from JSON, it converts it to Excel. But the first version was very disturbing to see. The tabs were switched. Some hashed information was also present there. That time I realized, okay, this is the V1. So I bought Claude Plus and tried using the same thing. And it got that first version out completely exact what I wanted. Then after that, I realized the PDF that they sent is version 1. There can be multiple versions to it. So there can be version 1, there can be version 2, there can be version 3, and the client wants every version that they put in my dashboard will give them the same output within the Excel. So after that, I told Claude, look, this is the version 1. I created a project. I create prompts using GPT for Claude if I'm writing some script, right? And then I give it to Claude, so it understands the prompt is proper, so it gives me the better result. I just created a project around it because I know if the chat got hallucinated, everything will be lost. So I've created a project. The version 1 chat was there, the version 2 chat was there, version 3 was there, and so after that, I combined whole chats and just created one prompt which says, what are the response that we have got so far? I need it to be given by one script. There are some patterns that I figured out. I just give it to them. These are the patterns if this version 1, and then I've given the whole scenario to Claude and it's given me a script. Then we ran it and it actually worked.
Okay. But be honest, Gaurav, to me and tell me, how sure were you when you were doing this that it will work out?
To be honest, I was not even 10% sure because I tried it already using GPT and the Excel sheet which was generated was not up to the mark, not even 50% close to what the client was expecting. So then someone told me from the team, dude, do one thing, just try Claude. Then I jumped to Claude. The next day, I got a result better than GPT. And we bought Plus, and that's how we created and shipped the feature.
What is that something that you do which used to take you 4 hours earlier without these tools that you maybe finish in much lesser time, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
There is one thing which is PRD, right? So in 2023, when I was writing PRDs, I made a lot of mistakes. It's like my manager is like, bro, you have to fix this thing, and then I'm manually sitting on it. So I'm just doing that thing, and it will take not only 4 hours for me as a freshly graduate guy. So it will take me 6 hours, even one day. When the GPT and all these AI tools came into the picture, whatever the features that I want to ship, I just give it to it, and it will create a PRD for me, right? So I use Stitch, and PRDs are the one where I saves a lot of time now.
What is that something that takes longer now because you're using AI to create those work?
So when we created a PRD or a prototype, there is an incident. We created a prototype for a solution we are building, right? So I was creating a prototype. So I've created a script. Whatever the information that we have, we want to put into that solution. So I give it to Emergent. I'll say, this is the prototype I want to create. This should be the dashboard. This is how it should work. Just create it. So it created me the dashboard. I blocked my meeting with my founder very confidently. This is what I've built, right? Without any designer or a developer or anything. It's just first prototype. So the first screen will appear. It says there are some pointers that we are going to show to the clients. It says what are the information that I have entered. It already showing that thing. Now I went to the next slide. There are some 50% of the pointers that has been provided by me, but another 50% was already generated by the AI. I was very sure after looking at the results, okay, this is what I've created. I have not rechecked it. They were like, what are these pointers? We don't have these kind of information currently present with us. I was like, okay, you can ignore it because this is generated by the AI. Move to another slide. 20% of the information provided by me, another 70-80% was AI. On the third slide, when I said this, My founder is like shouting at me. He's like, "Are you crazy? I'm giving my 30 minutes to you. You are showing me this is generated by AI. What insight will I get it from it?" So that make me realize now every time I create anything from AI, it generates in within minutes. But I spent at least 30 minutes on it to make sure there cannot be anything extra or if it is not available with me. So that took me longer. Validation.
AI is your dumb super intern. If you could help me understand, if there is any one thing that you miss which AI has taken from you.
Whenever I'm talking to users, I got the insights. I was prioritizing my features, I doing all those things, right? But actually, I love talking to users, getting insights from them, and
Correct.
see how I can solve it with the features that I can introduce into the product. The expectations was set around product managers because there are many AI tools that can help you execute faster. You can't just spend time on understanding the core pain point. What currently I'm doing is I'll just give my user feedback document to it, and I say, look, this is the what are the insights that you think? What are the areas that we should improve? What are the features that we can build? I actually love to spend time on these things on the customer feedbacks and then create something. Now I have give it to a tool and I say, like, look, give me these products, give me these features.
So you're,
and let me
in a
just
way,
analyze
you're
it.
saying that you're outsourcing research and validation. You're outsourcing that to AI, which you personally would enjoy doing that earlier versus the
Yeah.
AI doing for it. But is there
Correct.
something that is stopping you to do that? You can do it today as well, right?
Yeah, there is no one stopping me. But the thing is, we already have a lot of backlog. It's just the time crunch. We are manually sitting on it, right? And we are understanding the user pain points. I'll go into that customer shoe and I'll feel that this is the problem. This is what I have to solve. And if I don't understand, I will call that customer again. Will you please tell me again what is the problem? So that part is currently missing. So I'll definitely try to get into that because I love that part.
So if you could take me to idea to shipping on one real feature as an example, where did AI actually compress the timeline and where did it not help you at all?
There is a product for our business and sales team to understand what is the usage that is going on, the client wise usage. We need to find out a way whether how we can trigger a notification to our sales team to say, okay, these are the clients that are dropping dramatically, right? You can just upsell if they are not using, they have 10 products and they are using only 5, so you can push them to use all the products so we can get more revenue of. I go to the GPT as like, this is the problem, right? And I started brainstorming what we can do, what we can build. Either I can create an automation flow using N10, or can create a dashboard that can be accessible by the salespeople or the admin level people who can actually see, or the manager, as well as the overall company-wise performance. And there are also multiple suggestions given by AI. I have just suggested some of the features. I just picked 2 or 3 one. It's like, look, I think dashboarding wala part is the one thing we should provide it to them with the notification trigger and all. They're like, okay, let's do this. So once the solution was confirmed, like the prototyping part, right? So the point is the type of customization that we need and the type of output we require at that point of time will not fully met by the other tools. Now it's time to create a prototype of it. Then comes Lovable into the picture, right? So I've just created a prototype, the first V1, and I show it to my founders. Look, this is the thing that we have created, and this is just happening. This all thing is happening in 1 or 2 days only. So it looks okay. I got some suggestions on it because then I sat with salespeople, then I sit with admin guy, right, who provide some access to those products. So I sat with other people also to understand what are the pain points that they actually feel whenever the reports are late or something like that. Then after getting all the feedbacks, then I incorporated those into that prototype. Then I pitched again to the founders, hey, this is cool. Now it's all has been done in 3 days. We just need a backend integration because the dashboard is ready. Everything, every graph, every notification module, everything is ready there, right? We need to send emails, SMTP server we need to set up, we need to create a DB connection, and that's it. So on the 4th day, I called my developer. I said, look, this is what I've built. This is the product that our internal teams need. Also, we have added a revenue loss predictor. How much loss you are doing because your service is down on that day. Our developer, we just connected the DB, and on the 5th day, our version 1 was shipped and ready on the production.
How do you actually do discovery now, right? are you still talking to users, or are you using Claude, GPT to synthesize information from Reddit or Google?
There can be pain points that clients has provided to us. The sales guy said, yeah, this is the problem that my client is facing. So to validate that, I go to like I can just grab the Reddit and I say how many people are talking about this thing, whether it is the only person who require this feature or it's the other person also talking about. And also on LinkedIn also there are multiple RBI guidelines in the fintech, right? Walk me through all the RBI guidelines, latest RBI guidelines that can impact the fintech in terms of what are the products that are already existing in the market.
Is the version better now, or it's just faster?
So first of all, the time wala part, it just takes 30 minutes to create a PRD right now. But to filter it and to remove the information, it takes me 30 minutes to just refactor it according to the tech guy or any stakeholders. So before it was 6 hours, I've created a project around PRD only. This is the template you should follow, right? What are the information that I will provide you? Only put that information into it, nothing extra, right? It is actually faster and it is improving to be better.
So while doing the prototyping, are you still working with designers, or you're going completely on Lovable and skipping the designer completely?
When I build this product, right, that we are talking about, there is no designer involved. Currently what I do, I just go to Lovable, I just say, okay, this is what I need to create, just create a prototype around it, and then we show it to other stakeholders as well. For getting confirmation from them, then we can move to the development. Why we need a designer, right? We need a designer because they understand the users, they understand the journey where the friction can be.
So I think what you're trying to put across is user experience is something that you go for designers, but the actual implementation of the prototyping or in design, you are not taking design's help, you're directly going to Lovable, right? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, the Lovable is getting better by the time. If I'm creating a KYC journey, now I'm 100% sure whenever I'm creating a prompt that will create a journey as short as possible, because the KYC journey user will drop off. So I think it will improve the user experience over the time.
Doing a handoff to the engineering, right? Are you doing the handoff in a document, prototype, or something different now that you've had AI in your workflow?
There is a PRD for version 1 that we provided to the developers. Okay, this is the PRD, you go through it, what you want to build, and then this is the prototype, what should be built, and just creating something random because the design was not present. I can push my Lovable code to GitHub, and from there they can download it and they can install it in their server and they can start integrating the APIs around it.
While this is faster to ship, right? Is it faster to learn also, right? Are you actually learning faster, or you're just producing more?
If I got a new technology, right, then I deep dive into it. But in my regular workflow, I am using productivity more than learning. And in my free time, if I got into some new tool or new thing, then I am deep diving it, then I'm learning something new. Do it as fast as you can, right, with the precise thing to be in place. If I'm learning something which is separate from my current workflow, then I will deep dive into it.
When things get faster, you get a lot of free time. What are you doing with that free time? Is it being used productively, or is it being used for something else?
We are gossiping with the other teammates. If I have 5 products in my pipeline, 30% I'll do gossips and I'll just fun with my teammates and colleagues, and the other 50% will be researching on the next product, creating documentation, which is the PRD for other products in the pipeline.
And how does engineers feel about all this, right? Has your relationship improved with them, changed in any way?
Let me just start with the designer, then I'll come to engineering thing. It's been 1 month. I have not interacted with my designer. I've shipped 3 products in the company. Why you guys are not building anything? No, we are building everything here. We have shipped 3 products. Okay, look, this is what we have made. He's like, what the hell? All the design theme, all the brand guidelines were met, all the fonts, everything was too perfect. He's like, I think I should change the line now. It's the high time. Then other part is with the engineering team. Whenever we are building a product, right, the front end team is very upset with us. It's like, यार एक बटन लगा देना, अब इसके लिए मैं एक prompt नहीं देने वाला उसको. Then the engineering team is like, for the back end integration part, it's like their life is not changed that much. That what I feel actually. If you look at the front end and the back end as separate module, right? Front end is going to change, right? But the back end integration will remain same until or unless Lovable let users integrate the API workflow flawlessly. People are afraid to do that because because they cannot give their DB access to any AI tool.
They could hear it, whoa, this is amazing. PMs can do much more now, right? Or they could also hear at the same time that they might not need so many PMs also. Which one do you think actually is true?
I think the first one is far more true than the second one. The product guy is the intersection to which can say no to the sales or the business team and create some features that are actual valuable to the users. Product guy who are using these AI can ship faster and ship useful features to it. There is PM for every segment in the industry, right? If I talk about e-commerce, there can be a PM for the checkout, PM for the onboarding. Only one PM can be doing one thing perfectly with the use of these AI tools, because now in the market there are a lot of product opening is there. When I open LinkedIn, I got hundreds of opening of the product managers. The impact on the people who are not using the AI in the product management, that will be there for sure. Those people will be impacted, but people who are using AI to increase their productivity, to increase their shipping speed, increase their prioritization methods, so those people will sustain in the market, and the AI will not impact that much for those.
So there was a line which I read, right? PM who uses AI replaces those who don't. But my question here is, if everyone becomes an AI PM, it's just a label, right? Then what's actually competition?
So the competition is, it's not about you are using the tool. It's all about how you're using the tool. I have a tool for every just step in my product framework, right? You have to upgrade yourself every single month, to be very honest. So if I'm taking 5 days to ship and another guy who's using the same tools and taking 3 days, then definitely he's doing something better than me. But how the tools are being used in the product, that is making the real difference.
Every time a new tool comes out there, right? Someone is creating a new kind of PM. So initially it was a growth PM, data PM, platform PM, now AI PM, right? When does this label actually mean something versus when it's just noise?
I also don't understand what an AI PM is, to be very honest. I don't understand the terminology behind it. If you're using automation, how you're using automation over your product lifecycle, how you're getting the customer feedback, how you are prioritizing it, those according to the insights that you're getting from the feedbacks, right? I think that is more important as a AI PM. They understand they deep dive how this tool works instead of using it. So they are utilizing their prompts in a much better way rather than people just throwing anything to the GPT and generating a response.
What's your view? Like, let's say we are in 2028. What is going to stay true to being a PM versus what is now? How well you use those tools in your day-to-day life?
Like AI product manager is a tag, right? Because product manager can be for one use case, right? If I'm building platforms, I'll be a platform product manager. Okay. If I'm building solutions, I'll be product manager. So I think if it's like AI automation, doing automation in the company, making you AI PM, then you are an automation engineer. The segments of the product management will remain the same, and there will be improved with the use of AI.
So let's say someone in 2028, right, who says I am a PM. At that point, what do you think the assumption would be that they are doing day to day?
So what they will be doing is everyone is generating content through AI. So designers are generating their designs using Claude. Content writers are doing it using everything, right, around the tools that they can use. And salespeople are managing their pipelines and doing everything using those tools. Now the role of the product manager is like, we don't have to every time show everything AI to the users. Let's go back to the basics first, right? So if everything is going to be AI, who is going to say, okay, just take a break here and let's just go back to the basics. Can you please write this down from your perspective? So I think that we will be going back to basics in 2028, because if everyone is using AI, then people will say, okay, yeah, we need some natural content as well. We need some natural thing that has been produced by any human, right?
People who created well formatted, well created videos, people are not consuming them. They want something more raw, something more broken, which feels more real and original to them. What part of PM do you genuinely hope does not change or does not automate and still stays human?
That collaboration with the teams, for sure, because whenever you collaborate with the stakeholders, right, they give you a perspective that no one from the internal team can give, right? So if I'm talking to my business team, they're talking about revenue. If I'm talking to my product team and they were like, there are a lot of requests, a lot of backlogs, how do we clear it? When talking to the engineers, they're like, I don't have any bandwidth. If I'm talking to my marketing teams, like, people are not opening this thing, right? So that collaboration part will never fade away.
Is there a favorite question that you ask PM candidates? And if you can help me understand what is that question that you ask and what are you expecting out of them?
So I just always ask this question to every guy. So you are a product manager in Maruti Suzuki or any company, right, in India, and you have to design, you have to build a car. It can be SUV, it can be in any category, right? Like, how do you create it from ideation to launch? Just walk me through the journey. Right, I can understand what the person is thinking. So how they are thinking, are they directly jumping to the solutions, or they are thinking about the data that they already have as a Maruti Suzuki? So how they are segmenting the cars or the segments of the particular users, and then they are creating the product accordingly.
The company that you're working for is Sign3, right? They are a fintech fraud dealing with customers' sensitive user data, right? How much of PMs actually understand DPDPA? How important do you think it is for a product manager to understand DPDPA? Do you think it is nice to have, or it is a must to have for their job?
DPDPA Act is, I think it's running from last 2 years. So when I was in my first organization, so every time RBI rules a new guideline comes to our product team, and they're like, everyone should read it. And then we also used to have, okay, look, this is the guideline that has been published by the RBI. What do you understood by this? How you can implement this, right? And I think in fintech, the DPDPA have must information that every product manager should have, because your action depends on what are the guidelines that are being published by the RBI. So now there is consent management, right? So accordingly, there is one more story. When the DPDPA first came into the picture, right? So there were a lot of talks about consent management in the industry. So where I felt like how a single guideline from RBI can create a product which can create a company around that particular product. And so that's where I understood that every guideline has the power to create a product which can sell in the market.
And as a product manager working in this industry, how are you speeding up to the knowledge? How are you, updating yourself about DPDPA? Is there some place that you go to learn about these things?
So I think the compliance part is the most important thing, because whenever we go for a demo to the banks, they're like, how our data is protected and how the user's data is protected, how we are collecting that. Now you have to mention what are the consents, what are the information or permissions that you're taking from the users, right? I just follow people like you, right, who always talks about like RBI guidelines and what's happening in the fintech, right? And apart from that, I go to RBI page, right? I download some of the published documents from there and then go to Notebook LLM. I can just interact with the document. So I feel, okay, this is the document published by RBI. Tell me what are the key insights from it as a PM. So this is how currently I'm learning.
So is AI replacing product managers? Here's where I land after this conversation. It's not replacing the role, it's replacing the part of the job that simply moved information around. Drafting PRDs, creating first prototype, or even creating the MVP with basic coding. Those increasingly becoming AI's job. But deciding what to build, validating whether the AI is actually right, understanding the customer, and helping teams make good decisions, that's becoming even more valuable. I think Gaurav's story captured this side perfectly. He built something in an afternoon that would have taken him days just a year ago. But the biggest lesson came from the moment that he trusted an AI without verifying it and paid the price. If you enjoyed this conversation, you'll probably enjoy what is coming next. I sit down with product leaders, founders, and builders to unpack how real products are built in India, from AI and fintech to product strategies and career growth. So, if that's something you want to learn, hit subscribe and join us on the journey. My goal is to build one of India's most valuable communities for product managers. And if you think conversation like this deserve to reach more people, subscribing is the best way to support this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.